Yo, Husman here. In this week's Tutorial Thursday, we're going to talk about speed. Because time is money and we need to get our ideas done pronto. So this week, I'm going to give you 5 tips for improving your music production workflow. Tip 1 is setting a custom MIDI and audio channel setting. Some of you might know this, some of you might not. There's a function within Ableton Live where you can change your default audio and MIDI channels. This is a great way if you have some plugins that you use on every track and you don't want to keep importing them every time you open a new audio or MIDI channel. The way I've set up mine, I always have a tuner, an EQ and a compressor because I always EQ my sounds. I always use a sidechain compression. I find it really handy when I load in new sounds that I can directly see in which key the sound is playing. So the tuner is a great visual reference for that. So how to set up a custom audio and MIDI channel? Just right click on the channel and set save as default. So every time you open a new channel, this will be how the channel will open. So think about which plugins you use a lot on your sounds, on your audio and MIDI channels, so you can get to work on your sound as quick as possible. Tip numero 2. Set yourself a custom template when opening a new project. This is a great way to make sure that you're gonna stay organized from the get-go. The way I do it, I always start with drums, following by bass, synths, instrument, vocals and effects. I always label them in the same color, so when I work on different kind of projects at the same time, I can easily find my way around those projects. So in the long term, this will drastically improve the workflow and the speed of which I'm producing. So how to set up your custom template? First you organize it the way that you want it, with the coloring, the layout and the labeling of the project. And then you go into preferences and then you set save as default template. So every time you open a new project, this is the starting point of your project. The third tip is to automate the on-off function of a plugin. This is a great way if you want to EQ certain parts of your track. So for instance, if you have like an intro where you want to low cut to bass, instead of manually automating the frequencies of your EQ, which you already used to form the sound, just open a new EQ, set your EQ settings and then automate the on-off function so the EQ is only working on a specific part of your track. This way you can keep it really organized and you can get really quick results. The same thing is applicable when it comes to volume. So if you have a specific part that you want to have a bit lower on volume, add a utility, put the gain down a bit and automate the on-off function so that you can go really quickly to the results that you want. So tip number 4 is a tip that only works if you have a complete control keyboard, and it's really helpful if you're really bad on a piano like me. I sometimes run into the problem when I made a great chord progression, but then I can't seem to find a really great melody on top of it because I can't remember all the notes that are fitting in this chord progression when I'm playing on the piano. Not to worry, help is here. I found a great way how to help myself and now help you with this as well. Now, what I like to do is add the complete control to a MIDI channel and enable the scale function. So if you already know the key of your track, let's say D minor or something, put the scale function on D minor and then the lights of the keyboard will represent the notes of D minor. So the notes that are in D minor are lit up and the other ones are not lit up. So it's a great visual help to know which note you should probably play inside of a chord progression. So this is a great visual help when you want to create that awesome melody on top of your chords. So you might, just like me, not be that good of a piano player, so you quantize a lot of your melodies that you played. But afterwards perhaps you want to add a little human touch to it and humanize the bit. Now what I used to do is I would manually adjust the notes like really small steps so that you get a little bit of those offset in the notes. But a much quicker way to go about this is to just apply a groove on top of your chord progression and then increase the random value. This will randomize the notes for you a little bit so you can get that more human feel to your chord progressions. So if you want to see this represented in the MIDI notes itself, just hit the commit function and voila, you have a humanized chord progression. So I really hope you enjoyed this video and I really hope this will help you create better music more quickly. If you like what I do, hit that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care, bye bye.